If everybody can take their seats, we're going to get started here. Thank you, guys. Welcome to the final stretch here for those of you who were part of our mobility and IoT tracks. Thank you for sticking around. For our corporate partners from the travel practice, thank you so much for making it out. I know we have a lot of folks from different parts of the world here. And it's exciting. It's been an exciting year for us at Plug and Play as a whole, but also for the travel practice. And we're concluding our Batch 4 Accelerator program, going into Batch 5 for 2018. And a lot of good things have come out of the program, which I'll cover momentarily. But before I do that, I wanted our CEO, Saeed, to come on stage. He has a bird's eye view across the 13 different practices we have, travel being one of them. So I asked him to actually just give us an update on Plug and Play as a whole, what we're doing around the world, and what his thoughts are for the travel practice going into 2018. So with that, please welcome Saeed.
Thank you. You know, like, this is a quite special vertical for us, because this year I was traveling 50% of the time. And if you guys find a way for me not to travel as much, that will be the sort of the idea that I will for sure fund. But just to sort of put things in perspective, because some people may not know why we do this, to give you a recap of 2017, we have invested in 200 startups. And that's about like 10, 15 per month. And we try to make the best investment in each vertical. And depending on the amount of innovation, the size of corporate partners, like in fintech or in insurtech, we did about 25 investments each. But in in travel and hospitality or in our health tech, we did less than 10 investments. But really our goal is to do more. And we love that if, I know JetBlue does quite a bit of investments. If you guys see an interesting startup, even if it's not coming from Plug and Play, we would love an introduction so we can do more investments in this industry. As some of you know, sometimes I say I missed Airbnb because I had negotiated 20% of Airbnb for $400,000. There were 3 people, and I remember they had only 600 homes or rooms on the platform when we met them with Tim Draper. But apparently right now they have about 2.3 million hosts. And the company is worth, I negotiated it at $2 million. The company is now worth $40 billion. So I lose sleep every night about it. No. But to give you some other updates, our 8 offices in China is really going gung-ho, and we are investing in about 100 startups a year in China. We just launched our travel and hospitality vertical in Shanghai. I happened to be there. I think it was October when we launched it. But we also launched Tokyo in October, and we announced Abu Dhabi and Cleveland. So I think this year we opened up BNP Paribas Paris. So we opened 5 offices and announced 2 more. So that is what took me to traveling so much. So I like funny stories, so I'm going to tell you a funny story. The day we were supposed to announce Abu Dhabi and Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland, I was very torn to go to Abu Dhabi or go to Cleveland. it just somehow it happened both to be October 24th. They had a big event in Cleveland, Innovation Cleveland, and they had a big event for FinTech in Abu Dhabi. So I finally choose Abu Dhabi. The ticket size was a little bit bigger. So I fly 17 hours. I arrive to Abu Dhabi Shangri-La Hotel. The next day, we're supposed to have a signing ceremony and an event like this. So in the briefing at 8 o'clock, they start telling me, Saeed, we're going to have the signing ceremony at 9. You're going to have the Crown Prince Nahyan is going to talk for 10 minutes. Then you're going to talk for 30 minutes. And that was the plan. I mean, like, that's what I flew there for. Then, like, about 8:30, they say, Saeed, we also want to brief you on scenario number 2. I said, I never had scenario number 2. They said, if Sheikh Nahyan doesn't show up, the president of monetary authority is going to sign, the board is going to be behind you. And I said, what do you mean if he's not going to show up? I flew 17 hours. He cannot drive 10 minutes to come here. But nevertheless, he did not show up. But I think this is kind of funny. It's a little cultural that you have to just accept it if the Crown Prince is going to show up or not. And then the opposite of it, Cleveland Clinic sort of said, Saeed, we really want you to be here via WebEx. And I went at 8:30, 9 o'clock in Abu Dhabi to Cleveland Clinic. They have built the best hospital in the world, about $1.5 billion. And I went to one of the conference room, and they projected me on the stage, and it was a really nice celebration with Cleveland Clinic. So just the punchline of the story is please come up with innovations that not eliminate travel, but reduce travel a little. But with that, welcome, and I turn it back into Amir. Thanks.
Thank you, Saeed. I just wanted to give a quick update on where we are with the travel program. As you guys know, the travel program is about 2 years old. It's one of our babies. But 2017 was a tremendous year for us, especially with building relationships with corporations like yourself sitting in the audience today. And then I'm going to do a quick look into what we're doing in 2018. And then finally, we're going to announce our corporate innovation winner this year, for this expo, I should say, the second corporate innovation award being given out by Plug and Play. So first and foremost, we wanted to thank our partners. You see a lot of new logos on there that you probably didn't see a few months ago. All in all, we have about 22 corporate partners in the travel and hospitality program. Pretty good mix between airlines, hospitality groups, service providers, and airports are becoming more and more relevant for us. And I'll tell you guys a little bit about an event we held here not too long ago with about 20 airports from North America, including Gatwick out of London, which was a tremendous success. But really, thanks to our corporate partners, this program would not be around if it wasn't for your support. We appreciate the time and energy you put into it, and the startups are always very appreciative of what you bring to the table for them. For 2017, going back to what we were able to achieve, these are the folks that we were able to bring on board. I believe that's about 13 new corporations who are collaborating with us. The newest ones, AirAsia out of Malaysia. They transport about 80 million passengers a year, an extremely forward-thinking airline. And the founder of AirAsia, Tony Fernandez, was here not too long ago, and we recently signed a partnership with them, so we're very excited about that. Star Alliance, we actually work with 3 out of the 21 Star Alliance airline members, but Star Alliance wanted to actually build a partnership with Plug and Play and spearhead some of their innovation efforts for their airline members, so we're very excited to have them on board. Singapore Airlines, that's a deal that just literally the ink dried on the contract a few days ago. We're very excited to have those guys on board. and then Flight Center. And I'm just touching upon the most recent deals because some of the other logos you see on here, they've been a partner of ours going back to early 2017. So a tremendous year on the corporate partnership side. On the investment side, as you guys know, our number one priority with this program is to be able to make high potential investments. And prior to launching the travel program, Plug and Play had made a number of investments in travel and hospitality. You see some of those logos on here. That includes Nor1, Adventure Bucket List, BookingPal, Flyer. But the newer investments that directly came out of our program include startups like Springshot, Safely, Beyond, Skylights, and the newest ones being Axel, Stay a While, and Uplift. And for 2017, even though we wanted to invest in at least 10 startups, we were a little bit more focused on the corporate partnership side, but we did end up contributing to fundraising efforts of Uplift, Axel, and Stay a While. So going into 2018, I think we're going to balance out the corporate partnership side and the investment side. Our goal is to at least make 10 investments from the travel and hospitality program. We were named the 4th most active travel VC by CB Insights, and that was actually based on the data that they were able to gather through different channels. They were not aware of the newer investments that we had made. So if you take the total number of travel tech investments Plug and Play has made, we're either equal to 500 startups or one level above. So hopefully in 2018, once we update the numbers CB Insight has, you're going to see us move up this chart. More importantly, across all the 13 different verticals, Plug and Play was once again named the most active VC in Silicon Valley and US. As you can see here, we did about 68 deals in our own backyard and a total of 80 deals in US. And as Saeed mentioned, we do about 200 investments a year, so the remainder of the investments come from our satellite offices spanning from Asia to Europe and the Americas. So the past year, besides our own events like this one, the expos and selection days, we started partnering up with other associations, including IATA. So IATA, as everybody knows, International Air Transportation Agency, they have a program called Simplifying the Business, where they actually gather about a dozen or so airlines and a handful of airports, and they have specific tech focus areas on things they want to accomplish for that year. So in early 2017, we actually held that conference here, and IATA relied on us to bring startups that were relevant based on the projects they wanted to work on with their airline and airport partners. That was extremely successful, so in 2018, we're going to do it again for them. We're actually holding another one in January of 2018. We also did Focusrite this year. We did the Battleground. We held it here for the first time in Silicon Valley. And for the first time, Focusrite decided not to charge the startups to participate. And this is focused more on the earlier stage startups versus what they do at their annual conference. What we were told is that it was actually the content ended up being much, much better and stronger. And going forward, we're going to be hopefully holding the Battleground conference here in Silicon Valley at Plug and Play. And then last but not least, outside of our own programs, we did the Airport Innovation Summit in cooperation with IATA, ACI, and CETA. And our ventures team did an incredible job in sourcing later stage startups. Believe it or not, we even had Lyft here presenting to an audience of about 20 airports. And the feedback we got from the attendees is that they want to see that happen every year. And during our roundtable, actually yesterday with our corporate partners, somebody brought up the idea that we should do an airline-centric conference as well. So hopefully we'll make that happen in 2018 for our airline partners. 2018, important dates to remember. Selection Day is on February 21st. Between Selection Day and our expo, we have our focus weeks, deal flows, and office hours, and the expo is taking place on June 14th. Our second batch, which will be batch 6, Selection Day is going to be August 22nd, and the expo will take place on December 6th. The team has gone through some changes, the travel team, as most of you know. This is the current team. So obviously Saeed, who spoke earlier, myself, we brought on board Mr. Jordan Bray. He has dual responsibilities, so he's looking for new partners, corporate partners, to join the program, as well as helping us take care of our existing partners. Astrid makes us do the things we're supposed to do. She's the glue amongst our team members, make sure the startups are happy, the corporate partners are happy, and really makes events like today's go around. And then on the venture side, we have Ali and Kevin. And Kevin is going to be your MC momentarily here introducing the startups. We're actually in the process of hiring one more person. It's going to be a director position for the travel and hospitality program. And it's going to be a more senior person from the travel industry who's going to help both on the business development side with corporations, as well as helping us manage our existing corporate accounts. And I think at that point, once we bring that person on board for 2018, we should be in good shape. So what have we accomplished over the past few years? This slide is really just meant to showcase the level of engagement our corporate partners have had with different startups. So you can see for yourselves that the level of engagement has been tremendous. In the case of Swissport and Delta, they actually joined us during the later half of 2017. That's why you're seeing one engagement. But overall, what we've created, the ecosystem where we're encouraging collaboration between the industry leaders and the innovators, we feel like it's working. Can it be improved? Absolutely. We actually held our first roundtable with our corporate partners yesterday, trying to figure out what we can do better going into 2018, and some great ideas were shared. So hopefully you're going to see the level of engagements increase as we mature the program. And as you know, every expo, we recognize one of our corporate partners for the value they've created in our ecosystem here and the number of engagements they've had with our startups. And for this expo, I would love to recognize Accor Hotels for contributing to the program, for mentoring the startups, and for having meaningful engagement with those startups. I think Michelle, you wrote me an email yesterday saying that you guys are in talks with 6 different startups that you're considering doing a pilot with or doing a rollout with. So if I can get a round of applause for Accor Hotels for this year's Corporate Innovation Award, and if you can join me on stage. It's got a lot of fingerprints on it, but it's a new one. You're very welcome. Thank you. If you feel like it.
I just want to say thank you. It's been a phenomenal partnership, and as many of you know, for a relatively long-standing travel company, we actually have a very forward-thinking mentality and culture, and we're incredibly fortunate to now be surrounded by so many people who are like-minded. We talk a lot, especially in our luxury division, about being classic by design, but contemporary in spirit, and the plug-and-play ecosystem has allowed us to actually forward that and continue to move in the direction that we're hoping for the long haul, so thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Michelle. All right. Now to the fun part of the program. I would like to introduce our MC for the afternoon, Mr. Kevin Wang from our ventures team. He has promised me to behave on stage today, so this is a test, Kevin. Okay. Thank you, guys. Welcome.
Thank you so much for allowing me back on stage, Amir. The first company is a good friend of ours, and before this, he had actually had plans to sail all over the world, but unfortunately, he had a bigger passion to sell biometrics and security solutions. Please welcome Jackson from Kio.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay, so wow, it's bright up here. I am Jackson Klein, the CEO and one of co-founders at Kio. So we are building the first global consumer-focused biometric identity network. This means we're replacing your keys, cards, tickets, and fobs with a contactless scan of your palm. Our partners are using our technology to replace boarding passes in airports, key cards in hotels, membership cards in gyms, and to create seamless payment and loyalty experiences in stores. For a user, you sign up once for a Kio account, and you immediately have access to the entire network, again, with a contactless scan of the palm at any participating business. The technology underlying this is pretty incredible. When you hold your hand up to one of our devices, we look at over 5 million points in the unique vein patterns inside your palm in under 1 second. This is a totally unique identifier to you, much like a fingerprint, but about 150 times more accurate due to the density of the data in your palm. By nature of being internal to your body, it's uncopyable, unlike a face print or a fingerprint. And by nature of being contactless, it's sanitary. This is all very important because of what we do with it. So we take this technology, excuse me, and we integrate it into devices. On the far left here, you have our on-counter terminal. This goes in everything from movie theaters to airports. In the middle is our in-wall access control device. This gets mounted next to doors. You hold up your hand and the door unlocks. And on the far right is our integratable module. We sell this to other hardware manufacturers to integrate into their own products to make them Kio compatible. All of these connect back up to our proprietary identity cloud. We also have an API and SDK. What this means is that we as a company focus on building delightful and engaging consumer experiences so that our users want to see more and more Kio in their daily life. Then we make it very, very simple through that suite of products for businesses to meet that consumer demand and join the Kio network. So we have a very simple pricing structure. We charge businesses a monthly fee based on the number of identifications they do per month. In addition, we charge a per transaction fee if we're processing payments, and we charge for our hardware. So what's a lot of fun right now, through our work with Plug and Play, we're in 3 different verticals here. We have a huge amount of interest in what we're doing globally. Identity is a big problem, and we're a big solution for it. We're working with over 120 companies globally as flagship members of our network. Of these, 30 are Forbes Global 500. They represent 23 industries on 6 different continents. Also, through our work with Plug and Play, we finally have a little bit of revenue. So we are a pre-revenue company coming in here, and we just signed our first large corporate contracts. We have over $4 million in the pipeline for the first half of this coming year. We also have resale deals on the table from over 30 different countries globally. These are people who have come to us with Rolodexes and checkbooks wanting to deploy our hardware and software into their geographies. And as I think will be a running theme with everyone else who will follow me on stage, a lot of what I'm telling you, if not everything, comes down to a story about team. For us, our secret sauce, and the reason we've been able to build so much so quickly is that our entire team are multi-time entrepreneurs. We've built products, we've built companies, we've built brands, we've worked 18-hour days, back to back to back to back. We know the grind and we love it, but we wanted to get together, pool our resources, and build something that would have a positive impact on people's lives on a daily basis around the world. And here we are. So I'd like to thank Plug and Play very much for everything you guys have done for us. We've had an incredible 3 months in 3 different programs here again. And yeah, thank you.
This next gentleman was awarded at one time Chicago's favorite ginger, and he was on the founding team of Siri. Please welcome Dan from Exnor.
Thank you, Kevin. Hello, everyone. My name is Dan. I'm the VP of Marketing and Biz Dev for Exnor. Exnor is taking state-of-the-art deep learning models and allowing them to run on edge devices. Basically, as you know, there's been a lot of improvements or enhancements and advancements in AI in the last few years. We refer to AI in the cloud as AI 1.0. We're about enabling AI 2.0 at the edge. So the reason why AI is, for the most part, in the cloud, there's a lot of services that need to talk back to the cloud, is because of resource constraints on compute power, memory, and battery at the edge. But it inherently, or I should say an inherent issue with connecting to the cloud is, of course, that introduces latency, connectivity, scalability issues, privacy concerns, security concerns, and the like, of having personally identifiable information up on someone else's cloud service. So Ali Farhadi is a co-founder and CEO of Xnor.ai. Basically, he's also a professor at the University of Washington, and he recognized that there's this huge disconnect between the increasing demand for AI models and at the edge, and of course also compute power in the cloud. And so what he sought to do, because he's a software-minded person, is he developed some very smart math and algorithmic approach to compressing the size of AI models in order to allow them to run on devices as small as a Raspberry Pi Zero, which is basically a $5 board. So imagine, if you would, a world where devices are both smart and free from the cloud. We have a number of paid POCs at this point that we're working on in the space of people tracking in retail and also self-checkout, for example. We also have a contract in-house with the Department of Defense for drone surveillance and things like that. We only need 9 vertical pixels and 5 horizontal pixels to detect an object. And we're also, these solutions can also be used for personal security as well. And this is Macklemore Thrift Shopping. I don't have the sound here because it is protected by Apple at this point, but this is Macklemore doing some thrift shopping. I don't know if you recall the song rather. I'm going to pop some tags. I got $20 in my pocket. I won't sing it for you. I'll save you that. But the idea here is that we're doing demographic recognition on people. You can also see there's a number of objects we're recognizing. We're using attributes, not only of the person's face, but also of their clothing to detect, to determine whether or not someone is a male or female, that sort of thing. We can also detect emotion, as well as some face recognition. So my time is up, but we're licensing our technology, and I'd be happy to talk with you for those of you that are interested. Cheers.
This next gentleman is a Silicon Valley native, and at one point, Jim had to run all the way across the country. Please welcome Jim from Rule I.
Thank you very much. You can reach me at jim@rule.ai. Rule.ai is a no-code AI chatbot designed for business users. And in fact, many of you may have ridden over here from the airport using your Lyft app. And if you had, and you had done your passenger ride review, you probably had a chance to use the bot that the service design team at Lyft designed using Rule.ai. So a little bit about the team. Our co-founder, Dr. Yi Zheng, was part of the first team to publish research on deep learning for language models working with dialogue systems back in 1999 and 2000. Fast forward 17 years later, this is the core underlying technology associated with AI chatbots today. So we've built a really great team. Bloomberg and Quid Research did a survey and big data research on 50,000 startups around the world last year. They chose the 50 most interesting. Rule.ai was one of those, and we were the only ones delivering enterprise-level chatbots. And I just came from a Gartner Applications Summit in Las Vegas a couple days ago, and Van Baker, who's one of their leading AI analysts, took a deep look at our technology and said we had the most interesting dialogue manager he'd ever seen. And I'm going to talk about why that's so interesting, because that's the brain behind a chatbot. The vision, our sort of simple vision, is to put the business user, the non-technical business user, in control of AI. And it's really critical in terms of them being able to design out their bots. I'm going to show you a video in a sec of our no-code design console. But basically, the idea is to take the business users and have them own and nurture the bots in a very powerful way. Typically, the market over the last couple of years, as I think Gartner said, chatbots, conversational platforms, are the #2 most widely interested strategic priority for the enterprise today. Machine learning, I think, came in #1 at 55% in their survey. Conversational platforms, #2 at 47. So there's been a lot of experimentation, and typically it's come down to major enterprises either taking their own developers and using someone else's code to develop their chatbots, or outsourcing their customer experience to a third-party vendor. And we think there's a different way to do this. We call it domain expert optimization of AI, but the idea is to put the business user in control of designing and nurturing their chatbots over the long haul. Many folks have been learning about chatbots. These are sort of the 4 must-have components of it. Many of the major tech companies have deep learning-based natural language understanding corpus modules, and so do we. We've developed it over years. But there has not been a lot of innovation in the dialogue manager. And like I said, this is the core brain of the bot, the thing that really takes all the task workflows, brings them together to scale up to non-linear, complex dialogue workflows that take up typically a large percentage of people's contact center issue rankings. And this is something that Rulai has developed that is really differentiated along with our no-code design UI. So I'm going to play a video here now of the console and a business user. We built this up for an online travel agency around a complex use case of flight search. So you come in and you title it a task, book a flight, and you start dragging and dropping these modules on the, I guess it's your right, and it gives the service design professional a very deep palette of modules to build out these complex task workflows. So I'm building out this flight search task, and I'm putting in, here's the response to, I want to book a flight. It's very deterministic. But then you can start doing some really interesting and dynamic things, building out custom entities around airport codes within this flight search task. I'm sorry. We're out of time? Okay, well, we're almost there. So the values match to the user, and in this case, are booking a San Jose code. It's 1 more minute here. You're going to have to drag me off the stage, dude. Here's the complex sort of Lucid-like flow chart, and you can build this module in a very powerful way. You can add REST API calls. So the idea here is you really can take control in a no-code environment and build out your task workflows. So I'll skip to the final thing, which is we'd love to build POCs with all of you guys. We have a number of them that we're working on with the corporate travel partners. We offer you a 60-day free trial in the console, and then we come out of it after we've determined the efficacy with a pay-per-performance model where you're only paying based on the business outcomes you're designing. So we'd love to talk to you over at our booth, and we can actually finish off the video for this 3-minute thing that used to be a 4-minute thing. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. This next founder was once a shark on Wall Street, but now she's intending to be a shark of Silicon Valley. Please welcome Barb from Barb.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Barbara Partial. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Barb. And we're using search engine optimization, search engine personalization, to help booking sites help their visitors book sooner than ever before. We want them to pull the trigger sooner. So I love to travel. What I hate about it is getting thousands of generic results when I'm searching for hotels. Why is booking hotels still so hard these days? The founder of Booking.com told me recently that they know they have 10 to 15 seconds to capture our attention when we land on their site. However, for a major city, they're still giving us thousands of results. Nothing is personalized. And that's one of the reasons why the conversion rates in the industry is so low. And the bad news, the really bad news, is that it's actually getting much worse. Because as people book more on their mobile phones and eventually more on personal assistants, voice-activated assistants, their patience for results that aren't relevant is even lower and declining rapidly. But we know from other industries that people are four times more likely to book if information is personalized to them, if it's more relevant. And so today, we can use the data that's available to us from multiple sources, and which is what we use in our recommendation engine, in order to surface results that are more relevant to the traveler. The goal is to help them find what they're looking for faster and ever than before. Let me show you a little of what this would look like. In a natural language search, we can, at the very beginning of a search, even a first-time user on a travel site, we can uncover exactly what they care about most for the trip that they're taking now. By tracking actions on the site and other third-party sources, we can understand a little bit more about that traveler, their past behavior, things that they care about. And we can surface the most relevant results for the trip that that person is taking at the time. Here's another example of what that looks like. Imagine I'm going to Miami, Amir is going to Miami, but we're on completely different journeys on that trip. There's no reason that we should be receiving the same hotel results. We deliver this ranking. As you see here, this is an example of a percent to match ranking, very much like Netflix. We deliver this technology via API in a SaaS model, and we're powering any website, mobile app, or chatbot, any channel. This is, of course, a huge industry, but we've identified 2,000 prospects around the world who we can deliver the optimization for. And in addition to our current pilots, we're in discussions currently with some of the biggest names in the travel industry. We believe that once any of the big names on the screen begin delivering this type of personalization in their search engines, it will encourage all other companies to adopt the future of search. Changing the way people search the internet is definitely hard work, but we're very fortunate to have a great team. I led technology platforms for Wall Street firms, including the new robo-advisors, but we have great talent here from Booking.com, from Google, from Microsoft, people who really understand search methodology, artificial intelligence, and travel. So we are very excited to talk with you. I'd be happy to show you a demo. And we do have an open round for investment now to help accelerate our development and to hire additional people on the team. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So Nikita's from Russia, and actually before we reached out, he was actually almost about to wind the business down. But since we've sort of started on our journey at Plug and Play, Nikita's received investments, he's closed POCs and pilots, and it's a really compelling story. Please give a warm welcome to Nikita from Time Scenery.
Thank you, Kevin. Hello, my name is Nikita, and I'm a founder of Time Scenery, the all-in-one trip planner and social marketplace of trips. Trip planning can be hard and time-consuming. Multiple websites, bookings, spreadsheets, and maps. Traditional travel packages from tour operators are quite limited. Nothing fancy like road trips or city hopping. Please welcome Trip Scenarios, interactive and ready-to-book itineraries designed to combine all the best from travel packages, self-booking, and storytelling to let you plan and book unique travels, like, for example, this road trip around Iceland, and reuse itineraries created by other people. We already integrated 11 providers like Booking.com, Foursquare, Google Places, and many others on a single website to let you plan a complete itinerary with bookable services, places to go like restaurants or museums, and all the routes between them, find trip scenarios created by other people on the marketplace, customize them on the fly using quite intuitive interface, and book with a single button, no matter how many flights, hotels, and car rentals are included, which is quite huge. Share your experiences in a bookable form with other people, and earn commissions from your own bookings and people you invite. The next steps are integrating the artificial intelligence from Barb, whom you've just heard, and completely automatic generation of trip scenarios. We are open for synergistic partnerships, like, for example, trip scenarios for event organizers. We found them perfect for sport games or music festivals, or, for example, your trip to this conference could have been prepackaged. For travel agencies, it's all about the limitless flexibility of trip scenarios. We are doing a white label project for Invia Group, one of the largest OTAs in Europe. We're also running the first test with TUI in Russia. For hotels, we offer a holistic experience built around a hotel's brand. We are very happy to be developing a pilot for the Fairmont in the Bay Area, with trip scenarios tailored to Ekka Hotels collection exclusively. The same concept applies to destinations and airlines. We are planning another pilot for Gatwick Airport, and we're talking to several airlines. We see a huge potential in promoting road trips with the help of trip scenarios, in collaboration with car rental companies or car manufacturers, like this prototype for Jaguar Land Rover in the UK. Trip scenarios can be the all-new interactive content for infotainment systems to let you discover destinations and plan your trips while being on a long flight on board, to explore the area around the hotel while staying in your hotel room, and drive pre-designed routes from the marketplace using in-car navigation systems. We reinvent travel packages with social capital, aggregation, and personalization. I'll be happy to show you how we do that in the expo area after the pitch. Thank you so much. Thanks.
And just a reminder, on the back of your lanyards is a link of all the profiles and a way to vote for a winner. At the end, we'll be announcing. But the next company is really interesting. The founders actually met at a joint bachelor and bachelorette party. Please welcome Yale from Split.
These jokes are so funny, Kevin, every time you tell it the same way. I know somebody went over time, so I'm going to try to get this done in a minute. My name is Yale. I'm the co-founder of Split. We do ride sharing for companies. Ride sharing is not new, so I'm not even going to explain what that is. Our business model is different in that we charge companies a subscription annually to use our platform. They give us a download of their employees and where they live, and then we map for them what are the possibilities for them to commute together. Here's a great example. We launched last November with Bosch in Mexico. They put together a great marketing campaign where they gave preferred parking spots to the people who participated in carpooling. They gave ongoing rewards. So after 50 rides, you got 500 pesos. After another 50 rides, you got 1,000 pesos. And ongoing rewards to participate in the program. The results are great. In the first 48 hours, over 40% of their employees signed up for this platform, and a third of them were already matching and driving on their first week. We also signed up Cemex, BMW, and Citibanamex as additional customers in Mexico, and we're actually bringing on board 2 additional folks to continue business development there. Our platform runs on both iOS and Android and is developed using React Native, which is a hybrid technology. There are a bunch of benefits, so networking amongst employees, saving on miles, and of course saving, being more sustainable. And of course you get a great dashboard as well if you're the employer to know exactly how much miles how many kilometers have been saved, as well as how much CO2 emissions have been reduced by participants in this platform. We're actually launching another expansion to our product where we allow company employees to book seats on a bus as well as a carpool, so you can ride together on a bus in the morning and then you can ride back home on a carpool later in the day. So it's multimodal now, and we just did that in Mexico City. We have 140,000 employees reached through our current customer base, and we have a projected reach of about 1.5 million next year. Our expansion plan includes, has included both Europe as well as Latin America, and we are actually launching in January in Brazil, hopefully with 2 additional customers. We've won a bunch of awards. Hold on a sec. So we've gotten a lot of articles and we've won a bunch of awards, and it's actually part of our strategy of customer acquisition, because as a startup, you really need the credibility to be able to talk to major companies. So we have a great team with decades of experience in business development and software and transportation. And if you're in travel and you want your employees to get together happy and healthy and productive on time to work, talk to me. Thank you.
When I first got on the phone with this founder, he told me his solution was the closest thing to teleportation, and so we put him in the batch. Please welcome Karan from Port.
Thanks. Hi everybody, super excited to tell you all what we're working on. So while we've seen so much innovation with transportation within cities, where you push a button and you get a ride at your doorstep, traveling and transportation between cities really hasn't changed much. It's the same antiquated process. It takes far too long, and it's more expensive than it needs to be, and it's just a horrible experience today. There are hundreds and hundreds of regions and thousands of towns in North America alone that have a regional transit problem. And I mean, just look at this. Getting from Modesto to Palo Alto takes 4 hours when it's supposed to take just an hour and a half. Regional transit today is wasteful. It offers no flexibility, has too many detours and transfers, and it's expensive for governments and consumers because it's just too expensive to improve the existing facilities. We think there's a better way to do this. Introducing Port. A port is almost like a bus stop. It rests in augmented reality, and you get picked up at a port in one city, and you get dropped off at a port in another city. What this enables is point-to-point transit and helps you travel between cities at 1/10 of the price of a taxi or an Uber, but you get the same experience because it's point-to-point, and eliminates all detours and transfers. This in turn creates a network which creates new routes for places that were just simply not possible and isolated before, new and more options for existing routes, especially to improve them on weekends and public holidays and evenings, which have really bad schedules. Creates an intelligent regional transit system that knows when and where people want to go, which is powered by AI. This is what a regional transit map looks like for a major economic area. And with Port, this is Southern Ontario, and with Port, it becomes a point-to-point transit system enabling rapid intercity transit. And it connects places that were simply not possible and isolated before. This would take governments multiple years and several hundreds of millions to get to something this close. Port's platform can plug into any municipality's existing transit facilities and improving them almost overnight. And one of the ways and reasons that people travel between cities is for events and meetups and concerts and sports games like the Warriors and the Giants. And Port makes it easy to get to these specific events and destinations through our mobile app. This is what it looks like for the Warriors game. This is what it looks like for another city like Toronto. And it's as simple as swiping to request, and you're on your way in half the time and half the price of public transit. Just $12 an average a seat. There are over 150,000 people traveling between cities daily. There are over 1,000 regions in North America alone that are underserved. We have a team that's going to improve every single region's transit facilities with previous experience in mobile and web, and building startups that have been acquired. We have an advisory team that shares the same vision with the managing director of Techstars, the VP of marketing of the Toronto Blue Jays, Go Blue Jays, and advisory in location services. We are already working with multiple municipalities and Pittsburgh International Airport to make it a regional hub for all the towns surrounding it. We are currently raising our seed round and to make Port the next regional transit system and to build the intercity infrastructure for an autonomous future. We are Port. We can't wait for you to try it because it's probably the closest you're going to get to teleporting. Thank you.
This next founder actually proposed to his co-founder 5 days into their journey together. I'm not kidding. Please welcome Omer from Outernets.
Hi. So, at Autonets, we come from Interactive Heart, and we want to create interactive, to bring interactive out of home everywhere. So we seek to change the language of advertising and marketing from to a dictative approach to a more conversative approach. So we transform glass into smart displays. We realized that everyone that want to market themselves successfully, they need three things. They need a beautiful way to present their message. They need this message to be interactive, so it will be engaging, conversative, and inclusive. And they need data to drive this interactive message forward. So we created a platform to offer data-driven interactive experiences. We have a material similar to this, that you can cut into different shape, apply it to any regular glass, and it transforms it into a smart display. We use machine learning and computer vision to understand who is looking at this display in real time and create personal message for them. So if my 4-year-old daughter, she passes by one of our McDonald's locations, she would see a Happy Meal advertisement. My wife might see something about salads, and I would probably see a pile of burgers. So our timelines are smart. When we throw something on our timeline, it asks you, who do you want to see this content? So here we chose men between 18 to 40. We'll serve them for that particular content. But there's endless possibilities to how you segment the market. We create a marketplace for content within our CMS, where you can download template-based content and deploy it to as many locations and devices as you need. Our screeners are interactive, using hand gestures, facial expressions. So we show you a product, and I say, this is my product. If you'd like to learn more, smile for yes. This is how you navigate through the content. Also, mobile integration to offer you real-life window shopping. You can actually buy through the glass without coming in. Data is used in our system in two ways. You can create responsive content based on the people who are looking at it, and you can measure your performance and understand conversion using our analytics dashboard. Our screens, you can do custom shape, custom compositions. They raise brand awareness, they raise brand engagement, and of course, it's a new revenue channel. As a mission to bring interactive out of home, we help retailers stay open 24/7, sell through the window, optimize the foot traffic to get more people in the door, and speak to their customer in 21st century language. We have closed deals with real estate, with landlords, real estate companies. We transform their vacant locations into smart, eye-level, interactive digital billboards that give you, as advertisers, great proof of performance of how this system works. Some of our customers today and partners are WeWork, Synchrony Financials, Cushman, and many, many others. McDonald's actually were our first client. We are currently hiring, raising money, and always looking for new customers. We'd love to show you a demo afterwards. Thank you so much.
This next founder was once a captain of many ships, and on one of his seafaring journeys, he was attacked by pirates. Please welcome Jake from TripGrid.
No one ever believes that story. I'll tell it later tonight as promised. Big green button. My name is Jake. I'm the CEO and co-founder of TripGrid, a team travel workspace. Travel today, still being organized in spreadsheets, which is crazy to me. And this is being done by businesses of all shapes and sizes. Entertainment companies, TV, film, sports, construction, consultancies, oil and gas. It goes on and on. Most of the major corporates in the world are doing this, right? And it's just interesting. What is the problem with spreadsheets? The spreadsheets, so much time is wasted. There's multiple admins entering details time and time again in multiple different places. Mistakes are made throughout this entire process, and opportunities are missed to track 100% of their travel. So what is it that these companies need? They need one location to organize all of their travel. They needed a tool that automates a majority of the process, a process that minimizes the mistakes, and a workspace that gives more transparency into their travel. It's crazy to me that in a multifaceted company, there literally is no one single environment where a corporate can store, organize, and track 100% of their travel, unless they've built that software themselves, which I've talked to some of these companies, and they've actually done this, spending hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, building proprietary software to organize their own travel. So we built TripGrid. Part workspace, part spreadsheet, customizable, and automated. Finally, an environment to get all travel into one workspace. The ability to get every reservation organized, tracked, and in that same environment. The automation behind real-time custom travel documents and outputs for their entire team. Now you might be thinking, TMCs or Concur help with this situation, and the majority of them get really close, but they do not build custom team outputs or travel documents for teams. They don't offer a workspace for organizing all of this travel information. And they do not have 100% of the data, unfortunately, because of leakage. So full transparency is not always the case. I think we can all agree in this room that TripIt and TripCase are fantastic for the individual traveler, but not necessarily for team travel. They are too rigid, they're not customizable, and they do not replace spreadsheets. As for the rest of the competition in this space, the majority of them focus on group booking. That means they immediately compete with TMCs, and they're competing with each other and with consumer applications for unmanaged customers. This is shark-infested waters. Over half of our customers actually use TMCs and or Concur and still use TripGrid. This means that we are not competition, we are a partner. And it also means that that leaves the majority of the business travel market open for our tool. The market potential is huge, and we have multiple customers in multiple verticals that I discussed before. As an early stage small team, we have chosen to focus on the entertainment business because of the problems, the huge problems that we solved right out of the gate for this. We have some of the biggest companies in all of entertainment using our tool right now, and a huge pipeline of over 100 businesses of some of the biggest brand names in all of entertainment. TripGrid. Team travel shouldn't be in spreadsheets. Thank you.
This next founder, was a violinist on the New York Philharmonic. Please welcome Sagar from Track and Protect.
I don't know how true that is, but I'll take it. Hi, everyone. I'm Sagar Patel, COO and co-founder of Track and Protect, and we're revolutionizing hotel operations. So everyone meet Nick. Nick's actually the director of rooms at the Hyatt Regency in San Francisco, and he has a ton of problems every day, whether it's guest-facing issues or 1,000 things his staff is telling him. And it could be people telling them that they didn't get their crib fast enough for their baby, the hallways smelled awful because room trays were left out in the morning, or the staff saying that vendors are overcharging them for work that's being done, and even regulatory changes that are happening that are requiring housekeepers to have panic buttons on them at all times. Now, when Nick looks at the front of house, he sees a ton of technology that's guest-facing to enhance the guest experience, whether that's beacons that talk to guests for marketing, in-room guest assistants, or keyless entry into the hotel rooms. But when he looks at the back of house, there's not really a lot of technology. And for the technology that is out there, it's disparate systems that require him to use multiple platforms. So that's where we come in. We're Track and Protect. We're a BLE, Beacon IoT platform to help hoteliers like Nick address all of his problems in the back of house in one seamless platform. And so we've started with 4 solutions right now that hoteliers have told us are an issue for them. And those are inventory tracking, knowing what they have in their hotel and where it is to service guests faster. Room tray tracking, to know when guests are leaving room service trays in the hallway so staff can be deployed accordingly. And then in protecting their most important assets, their employees, is knowing where vendors are on the property at all times and how they're being charged. And panic buttons to give their housekeepers to signal for help in times of need. So here's a little dramatization of a hotel where you have housekeepers who are cleaning rooms, servicemen, and vendors that are doing work. And on top of that, you have assets that are given to guests when they ask for it. Things like rollaway beds, cribs, fridges, microwaves. We go in there, we tag them with Bluetooth beacons. You have room service trays that are left in the hallway. We tag those. And then for the vendors, we give them smart IDs that allow us to know where they are at all times. And then the housekeepers have panic buttons that they can press to signal for help. All of these use a Bluetooth signal to communicate with our gateways that are strategically placed in the hotel. Through Wi-Fi, the gateways communicate with our cloud, which then gets pushed into our app and web platform to know where things are in real time. We've worked with a number of hotels. In each hotel, We've shown through productivity savings, time savings, increase in guest satisfaction, and decrease in employee turnover, we can save them $1.4 million. We're working with brands like Hyatt Hotels, Westgate Resorts, but we've also integrated with a number of partners like Amadeus' Hot Sauce, American Hotel Registrar to really help scale our platform. Now, our infrastructure is so flexible that we could take the same thing and apply it to healthcare tracking medical equipment in hospitals, patients, doctors, and also educational institutions to track equipment and understand where students and teachers are on a day-to-day basis. Our team's comprised of a bunch of hospitality experts, ex-Hyatt employees, people who have scaled hospitality technology successfully, as well as technical experts that have built successful companies and guide our technical experience. We're currently raising, We're currently raising a seed round of $1 million. It's a priced round, and so really to help our technology scale. So please come talk to us. We'd love to give you a demo of their product.
This next startup is going to dazzle you. Before this, he was actually a semi-professional magician. Please welcome Chris from Obi.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Chris Buttonham, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Obi. So I'm going to tell a quick little story that's probably familiar to most of us. Knowledge and information is scattered everywhere within an organization. In fact, 20% of our work week is spent hunting down the correct information or documentation that we need to do our jobs productively. But I know what you're thinking. Chris, haven't I heard this pitch before? Yes. Literally billions of dollars have been poured into content management, learning management, and knowledge management systems like SharePoint. But with each additional tool creates more fragmentation of knowledge. And these companies fail to recognize that modern organizations use a vast variety of tools to author and share their knowledge and information. That's why we developed Obi. So Obi is the intelligent layer to your team's knowledge workflow. We embed Obi into the workspaces that you already spend your time in, like Slack or Microsoft Teams. And Obi helps you access and organize the knowledge and documentation that lives no matter where it is in your organization. So it could be your intranet, your wiki, or Confluence, for example. The teams that have piloted Obi to date have seen a 4x increase in their productivity by leveraging this technology. So by bolting ourselves into these workspaces that teams already use, there's no more context switching when looking for the information that you need to be productive. So you simply ask Obi a question, and he will fetch you the appropriate answer or resource based on your query. And he's learning after each interaction. Teams that have proper access to information not only are more productive, but produce better quality work. We also leverage intelligent workflows to be able to push knowledge to teams, most notably automating processes like employee onboarding or change management. And of course, we couldn't do this without an incredible team. Together, we've been building businesses for decades, have top NLP talent from the top-tier Canadian universities and IBM, and collectively graduated from 500 startups earlier this year. Since launching Obi just a year and a half ago, we've onboarded over 3,500 teams, which is growing at a rate of 30% month over month. And these are just some of the organizations that are leveraging us to help make their workforce more productive. Again, my name's Chris Buttonham. We are Obi.ai. We're currently seeking investors and partners just like you to leverage our technology to make your workforce more productive. Thank you so much.
This next founder was one of the first female engineers on the API.ai team, which exited to Google last year. And this is her first venture, and she was just practicing outside. Please welcome Christina from Fetchy Fox.
All right. So I am Christina, and I was previously with the API.ai. So when I was with them as the VP of Client Solutions, I found myself in a position where I was traveling a lot. And so before starting Fetchy Fox, that's where I was, that's what I was doing. So what that really means is that I was living in airports. And through that, I was able to see how bad that experience really is. It was always the same story. I needed to be at the airport, But I also needed to catch up on my emails. I had forgot my headphones. I needed to charge my phone before that 6-hour flight. And of course, I needed to get something good to eat because nobody wants to get stuck with the in-flight options. So time is really important to me as a business traveler. So I would go to the gate, I'd find a seat, and I would do what matters to me. I would focus on that, which was always work. And so from then, I always found myself in this position where I had to make an unnecessary sacrifice. I either go hungry because I don't want to go wait in a 20 or 30-minute line, or I pack up all my stuff, I lose that seat, which is comfy, and next to an outlet, and then afterwards I have to go be huddled on the ground next to an outlet like all those other people. And that is just not my style. So, like I'm sure many of you, I'm an Amazon Prime Now fanatic. I use Uber Eats, I use DoorDash, I use all of the on-demand things that you could think of all the time. And I wondered if in this ecosystem, other people were also missing those services. So I decided to put my Stanford hoodie on, and while I was at the airport traveling, I talked to over 100 people in airports across the United States. And I found that 86% of them, 86%, would pay a premium to have that kind of service for themselves. Modern user expectations demand an easy-to-use, familiar service that they can rely on wherever they go. Our airport marketplace connects travelers to food, beverage, service providers, and more. And maybe you're thinking, well, how many people are really in airports every day? How many people does this affect? Well, let me tell you. In San Francisco alone, there are over 70,000 people departing every single day. There's no other place in the world like that, except for Disneyland, that is. I think they have between 40 and 50,000. And that is substantial. For the first time, we will be able to compile and understand individual traveler behavior so that we can personalize your experience across destinations, no matter where your journey brings you. So right now, we have built the products. We have more demand than we have capacity to fulfill at this point. And if you want to get involved in any way as a partner, investor, come talk to us. And next time that you're in the airport, realize that you deserve better. We all deserve better. Thank you.
So we actually added a couple companies last minute that weren't part of our batch. And this is one of them, but really cool technology. The founder was previously in Vietnam and opened a digital bank. Please welcome Justin from Explorist.
Thank you, Kevin. Hi, everybody. My name is Justin Myers, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Explorist, which is an app that provides the fastest way to discover the world's most beautiful photo locations. Where was this beautiful picture taken? How do you get to the exact spot to take this picture? What lens was used to take this incredible composition? These questions are being constantly asked on travel platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. And you know why? Because it's not easy to find, and to some extent, it doesn't even exist. We launched in Singapore 4 months ago, and now we're preparing to scale across the United States, starting with California at the top of the year. When you open the app, you're met with the location feed, which is a list of all the beautiful locations that are closest to you. When you click one, you access what's called a location insight, and these are written by expert photographers and big Instagrammers, and they include everything you'd want to know about how to get to that location and take the photograph, such as the exact GPS coordinate of where the photographer stood, when to go, so the best time of day, best month of the year, a 5-day weather forecast, the sunrise, sunset times, and the best times so you can get the golden hour of the light. And we even pull in the photo specs that were used to take the picture, and also field tips from the expert photographers. So once you're in the location, how do you kind of get that best composition? So in a nutshell, everything you need to know about the location and how to photograph it. Our competitive advantages. You'll quickly see that the image quality is top-notch. All the contributing photographers are invited, the images are vetted, the insights are vetted, so you know what you're getting is accurate. Personalization. When a user signs up, we understand what they like and what they do not like when it comes to visiting locations, and we recommend based on that data where they should visit. Explorers get paid. This is perhaps the most exciting part. Our contributing photographers receive half of our income every single month. That's how we incentivize them to write new locations and then to promote it to all their fans. Influencer network. My co-founder is a 2-time suggested user on Instagram. His name is Michael Lax, and he's well respected within the Instagram community, especially here in the Bay Area. This has proved awesome in terms of getting the necessary influencers on our platform to populate the location database. Market validation, 9,500 users on iOS only. 215 people have requested where we go next, which represent over 30 countries. We have a 2.5% active subscriber rate amongst the Singaporeans because we're only launched in Singapore, and over 325 people have applied to actually contribute new locations to the product. We're obviously excited to continue growing and would love to collaborate with different brands on social media campaigns, integrating travel booking technology, or also in-app advertising, and we're also seeking seed financing to scale across the United States. Thanks for your time, everybody.
Have you ever been in love? Well, this next founder was in love so deeply that he took a year's worth of honeymoon. And on his journey across 30 countries, he came up with this solution. And please welcome Marcus from Go Nightly.
Thank you. By a show of hands, who in here owns a vacation home? Can't see much, the light is bright, but it doesn't seem like it's too many people. Who would like to own a vacation home? There's a few more. The good news is we can help all of you who raised your hands. My name is Marcus Janowski. I'm one of the founders and CEO of Go Nightly. What do we do at Go Nightly? Well, in industry terms, we are the world's first platform-agnostic co-hosting solution with an integrated property management system. Some of you might understand that. I suspect most don't. I didn't until a while ago. So I'll put in plain English. We are able to make you the most money with your home while getting it the best care no matter where it is. How do we do that? We tap into the biggest workforce there is, neighbors. We allow any neighbor to manage a vacation rental by using our app. We remove all the technical hurdles like multi-site listing on Airbnb, HomeAway, TripAdvisor, Booking.com, dynamic pricing, calendar synchronization, message synchronization, even payments. We remove all that and allow people next to your home to manage your property for you, dedicating full attention to the guest and your property. Is it working? Well, our clients like it. Those are two of our first clients. I'll let you read it. So we make quite some money with smart technology for homeowners. And for managers, which we're proud of, we create jobs for people nearby. But how do we make money? We operate on a simple revenue share. Out of every night spent at one of our properties, the homeowner gets 70%, the manager gets 15%, and we keep 15% for our services in the background. What you're looking at is real-time statistics from a homeowner's view, how much he or she is making. We make 15% every night. We launched shortly ago. We're making 6 figures revenue right now, and we're just about to close our $3 million seed round. If you want to know just how far we can go with those $3 million, this is my contact, my email, my phone number. Look me up, come talk to me. I'm easy to spot afterwards. And if you're one of the lucky people who own a vacation home or thinking of getting one, go to gonightly.com, punch in the address and the little calculator we have on the site there, and see for yourself just how much money we can make for you while creating a job for a person nearby. Thank you.
I think we've all seen this next person pitch a bunch of times, but you can actually buy their token right now on a number of exchanges. Please welcome Chris from Civic.
Can we get the sound?
Increasingly important. That.
Go back. Can you go back? Can you go back to the first slide?
In a world with more and more identity theft, a trusted identity is increasingly important. That's why Civic created the Secure Identity Platform. It's a bit like a digital wallet that bridges your physical and cyber credentials. To see how it works, let's meet Janice. Janice is going on a trip, and she needs to identify herself several times along the way, starting with the purchase of a plane ticket. Janice's travel booking service is a Civic business partner, so they simply send Janice a QR code to request her information. Janice provides the requested information directly from her mobile device, where that information is stored fully encrypted. Now Janice can use that same device to verify her identity at the airport check-in counter, at the security check, and when she gets to her hotel, using her fingerprint each time to prove that she is the owner of that data. This voluntary exchange of data happens directly between Janice and any organization that requests her information, like a hotel or a bank. When there is a request for additional data, it gets added to her Civic app, and she builds up trust in her digital identity. Each organization receiving her data independently validates her identity on the blockchain. That means Janice's information is trusted, and she can have the low-friction experience she deserves.
Okay, the video is better than me speaking and took up most of my time. So the benefits of Civic. So we raised $33 million in June doing a token sale. We have pilots going on. We have people live, sites live. If you want to go there for your own experience to do the QR code scan and the identity and all that, you could go to WikiHow. Most people know of WikiHow, W-I-K-I-H-O-W. So the benefits of our platform. That when we say that individuals own their data, that means they store their data and they're in charge of sharing their data. Think of GDPR, storing data. No central point of failure, truly no central point of failure. Legacy two-factor authentication is not needed. In fact, we can do simple one-step multi-factor authentication. And we view our solution, the Pure solution, as the evolution of OAuth, but we still support Authy-type solutions. And we're compatible with global compliance and privacy laws around the world. In fact, we help people comply with GDPR when you have to share the information with other parties. So the benefits of our platform: trust, privacy, and then what perks people up is recurring revenue. And we can talk about that more on the side. Revocability. You get married, your name changes, you need to revoke a passport, you need to revoke many things and issue a new identity. And Civic never stores the identity data, which is very important to many of our customers. So I will just flip through this really fast because I'm out of time, just to give you an idea. So different forms of identity throughout the travel experience. Thank you.
Before Max found his passion in flexible hotel bookings, Max ran his own hedge fund. Please welcome Max from Hotel Flex.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Max, and I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of Hotel Flex. I want to start by identifying the problem that we're looking to solve here. And that's that hotel rooms sit empty for large quantities of the day. And that is because you might have one particular guest who checks out at 7 a.m. in the morning to get on an early morning flight, and then the next guest doesn't arrive till 7 o'clock at night. And that's 12 hours of lost potential revenue the hotel's just left sitting on the table. And we've actually calculated that the average hotel room will actually sit empty for 7 hours between guests every single day. And this happens in every single hotel room all around the world. And we think there's a huge amount of potential here for hotels to generate additional revenue from their existing inventory. And that's where we come in. We've developed an algorithm that predicts the arrival and departure time of every single hotel guest. And then we resell the intervening time period by allowing other guests to extend their stay by a matter of hours by purchasing early check-ins or late check-outs. So for example, if you're flying in on an early morning flight into New York, instead of having to wait for 5-6 hours once you've arrived in the hotel lobby, you can go straight into your hotel room. So how are we doing? Currently, 15% of guests who are offered this flexibility convert to paying for it and pay, on average, 10% on top of their room rate for that set of flexibility. But what does that mean for the hotel? We increase revenues by around 1%. And that might not sound like a lot, but because these rooms are currently just sitting empty, it's pure profit for the hotel. So we can increase a hotel's room profits by up to 4%. So what have we been up to whilst we've been on the Plug and Play Accelerator program? Mostly on the business development side. We're now working with some of the world's largest hotel clients, including Accor, Fairmont, 8 hotels, and Ascot. But most importantly, yesterday we signed a distribution deal with one of the world's largest booking agencies that gives us integrated access to every single hotel pretty much worldwide, meaning that we don't have to go through the costly PMS hotel-by-hotel integration, which essentially allows us to scale incredibly quickly now. And aside from that, we've been raising our investment round to fund the next round of our growth. We've been seeking $1 million over the last couple of months, and we've currently got 65% of that in the bank. So if there are any investors in the audience, we'd love to speak to you afterwards. To summarize, we're Hotel Flex. We make hotels more money from their existing inventory. We have pilot agreements in place with some of the largest hotel rooms worldwide, and we have a distribution agreement in place which allows us to scale incredibly quickly. Thank you very much.
And please make sure to vote, judges. It's on the back of your lanyard. You can go into the app and check out the startup profiles. But last but not least is Mark from Simple Night. We actually met in Miami, and now he's pitching. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Hi, everyone. Let's talk about in-destination experiences. Over $800 billion is spent on in-destination experiences globally. The technology infrastructure for searching and booking in-destination experiences is highly fragmented. Consumers have to visit tons of different websites and apps to discover and book all the different things to do in a destination, which is incredibly time-consuming. The market needs an optimal solution. Simple Night is a B2B2C global distribution platform, or GDS, for in-destination experiences such as tours and activities, attractions, box office and events, dining, ground transportation, hotels, and more. Simple Night enables companies including Google, Sabre, Travelport, Jaguar Land Rover, airlines, hotels, TMCs, OTAs, startups, and more to sell all the different things to do in a city to their customers, leveraging their existing touch points while sharing in the revenue. Simple Night offers over 500,000 bookable products in more than 1,300 destinations spanning greater than 150 countries. The way in which Simple Night aggregates its content is via API integrations, as well as hosting content providers on its cloud-based extranet. Here's how Simple Night works. Let's say a passenger is flying to New York on Delta or JetBlue. The passenger can now book tickets to a Broadway show or make a restaurant reservation selected from a list of personalized recommendations near the show. This all happens on the airline's own touchpoints, including their website, mobile app, and even the in-flight entertainment system, all powered by the Simple Night platform. Simple Night acts as merchant of record on all transactions, pays merchant fees and the various suppliers, and shares the net revenue with the distribution partner, which is the airline in this example. Simple Night also offers a licensing model where the distribution partner keeps 100% of the commission. Simple Night delivers the scalable infrastructure enabling your brands with a one-stop shopping experience to cross-sell, bundle, and dynamically package experiential products and services utilizing contextual personalization. Simple Night will also provide you with real-time, in-destination data insights on your customers. SimpleNight's management team has significant experience building high-scale infrastructure technology systems and leading teams at companies including Google, Sabre, DoubleClick, Orbitz, and IBM. In a world where experience is everything, SimpleNight's mission is to deliver curated and remarkable experiences to your customers during their journey of every destination. SimpleNight would love to connect with your brand. Please feel free to come and see me at our table in the demo room or email me at mark@simplenight.com. We'd be happy to do a demo for you, and we look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to Plug and Play for having us here and for putting on this great event.
Thank you so much. In case you were wondering, that last company's name was SimpleNight. Right now, actually, the IoT team from Plug and Play, they're going to be announcing the winner from their expo, and then shortly after we tally up the votes for the travel and hospitality program, we're going to be announcing ours. From my side, I wanted to again thank all of our corporate partners for being here today. Thank you for making the trip. And thanks to all the startups who presented. I hope there's some good connections made here today. And I wanted to see if the IoT team is ready to make their announcement. Anyone from IoT? Yes, he's coming. This is my colleague Sopan, who is the director of our IoT and mobility practice.
Thank you, Amir. I know it was a long day for all of you guys. We're going to make it quick and short. From the startup side, we have Radio Maze as a winner for IoT.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Are there any bitcoins inside?
Let's take a picture.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, the votes are in, and for travel and hospitality, the winner tonight is going to be Kio. Round of applause for Kio, please. Kio in the house. Kio is probably doing another deal. Kio, going once. All right, we'll have to give their prize on a one-on-one basis. Thank you so much, guys. That concludes the day. Please join us for some food and drinks. I believe it's taking place out on the right, my right, your left. And looking forward to seeing all of you back here in 2018. Thank you so much.